In my professional experience working with clients, many of whom are men, observed a recurring pattern in their romantic relationships. A significant number of men report similar issues with their partners, women who are disrespectful, unfaithful, or financially exploitative. If you find yourself repeatedly encountering these problems, whether it's infidelity, being taken advantage of, or facing disrespect, this article will explore the underlying reasons for these patterns and provide actionable steps to prevent them from recurring. Let's dive into the insights and solutions. It's common for men to claim that their partner misled them early in the relationship. They often say, "She seemed perfect at first," or "she hid her true self." However, the truth is that women rarely conceal their intentions entirely. They may not always verbalize their true nature, but their actions, behaviors, and choices reveal it from the outset. Every woman who has caused you pain, used you, betrayed you, or taken advantage of you likely displayed warning signs from the very beginning. These red flags were present, but you may have overlooked them. Women often reveal their character subtly through their clothing choices, their behavior, or the way they discuss past relationships. For instance, a woman might dress provocatively, signaling a certain attitude toward attention or boundaries. She might openly discuss her sexual liberalism or speak negatively about her exes, labeling them as toxic or admitting lingering feelings. These are clues to her values and emotional state. Additionally, her parenting style, or lack thereof, can be telling. A woman who neglects her children or restricts their father's access to them is demonstrating a pattern of behavior. You might believe you can step in as a supportive partner or stepfather, but her actions suggest she may repeat this behavior with you if the relationship sours. These early indicators are critical, yet many men choose to ignore them, hoping for change that rarely comes. Women, myself included, consistently display their red flags early on. The difference lies in how men respond to these signals. A woman with numerous red flags will often seek out a partner who tolerates her negative behaviors. Conversely, a woman with fewer red flags naturally gravitates toward a man with strong boundaries, as their values align. A man with clear boundaries and self-respect will not tolerate excessive negative behavior, creating a balanced dynamic. However, a woman with many red flags will target a man with low self-esteem, someone who struggles to enforce boundaries or recognize warning signs. This dynamic allows her to push limits without consequence. If you struggle with low self-esteem and prioritize maintaining a relationship over demanding respect, you're more likely to encounter manipulation, infidelity, or disrespect. Women can quickly identify men with low self-esteem, often through subtle cues. One key indicator is when a man is overly captivated by a woman's physical appearance. When a man places excessive value on a woman's beauty, she gains a form of control over him. Even a highly attractive woman will respect a man who isn't overly swayed by her looks, recognizing that he values more than her appearance. However, a woman may exploit a man who is in awe of her beauty, knowing she can push boundaries without losing him. For men with limited experience with attractive women, this dynamic is particularly pronounced. Women can sense this inexperience and use it to their advantage, testing boundaries with disrespect or infidelity, confident that the man will stay because he believes he can't do better. In contrast, a man who values a woman's character over her appearance communicates that beauty alone isn't enough to sustain the relationship. This forces her to bring more to the table, whether it's emotional maturity, respect, or shared values. When a woman knows her looks are the primary reason a man stays, she may use her appearance to smooth over conflicts or disrespectful behavior, knowing it requires minimal effort to regain his favor. Another clear sign of low self-esteem is a failure to set and enforce boundaries. When a woman behaves disrespectfully and you hesitate to address it out of fear of conflict, you're prioritizing peace over self-respect. Men who avoid confrontation to keep the peace often lose the respect of their partner. Addressing boundary violations doesn't mean resorting to anger or shouting. Instead, it involves calmly communicating that certain behaviors are unacceptable. If the behavior persists despite clear communication, the solution isn't to repeat yourself endlessly, it's to walk away. By staying in a relationship where your boundaries are consistently ignored, you signal that you don't value yourself, which diminishes her respect for you further. Some men make the mistake of rewarding negative behavior. For example, after a partner cheats or disrespects them, they may beg her to stay, shower her with gifts, or overlook the behavior entirely. This sends a message that bad behavior has no consequences and may even be rewarded. A woman who learns she can disrespect her partner and still receive affection or financial support will likely escalate her behavior, knowing there's little risk of losing the relationship. The root of these patterns often lies in childhood experiences. Men who struggle with enforcing boundaries or accepting disrespectful behavior may have grown up with inconsistent love or support from a mother or maternal figure. If love was conditional, sporadic, or tied to pleasing others, you may have internalized the belief that you must earn affection through sacrifice or tolerance of poor treatment. This can lead to a cycle of accepting unacceptable behavior in adulthood, as you're unfamiliar with what healthy, respectful love looks like. You may not have experienced a woman who shows genuine care, someone who checks in on your needs, apologizes for mistakes, or prioritizes your well-being. Breaking this cycle requires self-awareness and a commitment to change. Recognize the patterns in your relationships and acknowledge how your past may influence your present behavior. Instead of desperately trying to hold on to a woman who disrespects you, understand that tolerating bad behavior only leads to further disrespect. It won't improve without firm boundaries and consequences. While it's important to forgive and show empathy, forgiveness doesn't mean excusing repeated violations of your boundaries. Believing a partner will change without evidence, such as assuming her behavior stems from trauma and will improve with time, is a trap. Instead, establish clear boundaries and enforce consequences when they're crossed. This might mean ending the relationship if the behavior doesn't change. By doing so, you demonstrate self-respect, which attracts partners who value and respect you in return. Ultimately, addressing these patterns isn't just about finding a better partner, it's about becoming a better version of yourself. By developing self-esteem, setting firm boundaries, and refusing to reward negative behavior, you'll not only attract higher quality partners, but also cultivate a stronger sense of self-worth. This shift in mindset and behavior will lead to healthier, more fulfilling relationships. Thank you for taking the time to explore these insights.